I'm going to be asking you some questions, little things about Tagalog. I want to ask everybody where they come from. So just say your name. Hola, hola, hermanos, hermanas, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿De dónde viene vos?
De Guatemala.
De Guatemala, wow.
Matías, de Coronel Pringles, Argentina.
Beatriz from Colombia.
Sí, buenas noches, ¿qué tal? Les hablo desde Perú.
I'm from Mexico City.
Soy Cecilia de Buenos Aires, Argentina.
¿Qué tal? Mi nombre es Gabriel Palacio, soy de Quetzaltenango, Guatemala.
My name is Eliu. I'm from Tijuana, Mexico.
I am Jessica from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Hi, I'm Lalo from Mexico, from Toluca. It's a city near from Mexico City.
I don't speak English very well.
Está bien, hermano. Argentina, ok, bienvenido.
Saludos desde acá de Puerto Rico.
And we have Ernesto, otro mexicano. ¿Qué tal, güey?
Hola, ¿sí?
Hola, soy Silvina de Buenos Aires, Argentina también.
Because as a local guide, I know there's so many commonalities. When I was younger, I had no interest in learning Spanish at all. But life happened and I lived in Latin America for a little bit, so I learned Spanish. And that's when I started picking up things that, hey, Tagalog, which is our native dialect, our most common dialect, which everybody speaks in the Philippines, it's not very different from Spanish. In fact, it was easy, very easy for me to learn. I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to read books. I didn't have to learn through Duolingo. I just learned by listening and repeating, if you can believe that. Did anybody know that here in the Philippines we used to speak Spanish? Mm-hmm. Have you guys heard of that? Did they teach you that in school?
No.
Oh, excellent.
No.
No? Nobody?
No.
Okay, good. In all my travels, I always ask the people from Spain and Latin America, did you know that Philippines used to speak Spanish? Nobody has said yes yet. Not too many Filipinos know that it's very easy to learn Spanish. On the flip side of the coin, not too many Latinos, not too many Españoles know that Tagalog, there's a lot of Spanish words, right? It's a shame that we don't know that collectively. Here in the Philippines, we have so many dialects, right? But Tagalog, that's how you spell it. You pronounce it as Tagalog. It's our most common native language. It's very sad that at this point in time, it's only 0.5% of Filipinos who can still speak Spanish. Very, very few. The sadder part is that not too many are keen on learning it because one, it's not fashionable, and two, they think it's hard. European languages, they'd rather learn French. Asian languages, they'd rather learn Korean and Japanese. Those are the top three that people are learning. Not Spanish. Quick points here on the right-hand side, you will see that the Spaniards, they stayed here for 333 years. They were here for so long a time. Sadly, when the Americans came, they kind of erased the traces of Spanish education because they wanted all the Filipinos to learn English, right? So that's why it kind of disappeared in a couple of generations. From 95% of Filipinos speaking Spanish, now it's only 0.5% of Filipinos who speak Spanish. I missed speaking in Spanish, but when I came back, it took me about a couple of months before I found another Filipino who spoke Spanish. It was very hard for me to find somebody else who spoke Spanish. We just share so many things in our cultures, right? So some facts that you guys need to know. Hay un montón de Filipinos por todos lados. There's a lot. 109 million. Not like Mexicans. We're not like 130 million, 140 million like Mexicans. Pero casi. And we have Latin-sounding last names. I don't know if you've noticed that. Do you know any Filipinos like me? My last name is Martinez. Eric Martinez. You guys haven't worked with Filipinos before? Nobody? Okay, even better. Whenever you would meet Filipinos, like in a workplace or in an event like the Local Guide Summit or Connect Live, ask their last name. 90% of the time, it's going to be Spanish-sounding. The Spaniards were here for 300 years, so we took on their last names. In Asia, we are the only Christian majority country. The other countries like Japan, like China, they have their other religions. About 80 to 90% are Roman Catholic. Very similar to Latin America, right? Because the Spaniards brought the religion here. A little bit about me, I learned Spanish, and I learned that while living in Nicaragua. That's a country in Central America, very close to Guatemala. So please forgive mi ortografía, mi gramática, my grammar. I'm still, learning it. Estoy aprendiendo todavía. And this is something I have to admit. It's very sad. Filipinos in general don't know a lot about Latin America. Before I got transferred to Nicaragua for work initially, I'm very ashamed of this. I thought that Nicaragua was in Africa. I confused it with Nigeria. I didn't even Google it. I just assumed it was in Africa. Why? Because in the educational system in the Philippines, they don't teach us a lot about Latin America. They skip that. for whatever reason. We're gonna go do a little game. What I'm gonna do is I'll say a Tagalog word in the most Filipino accent that I can do, and you have to guess what Spanish word where it's coming from, the original loan word. Because there's a lot of Tagalog words that are based in Spanish, right? There's about 5,000 of them until now, and many of us are unaware of it. So I'm gonna say words, and then you tell me through comments or by telling me, by shouting, what Spanish word I'm saying. It's a Tagalog word, but it's based on Spanish. Okay, first word.
Okay.
Listen carefully. I'm gonna say it in the most neutral Tagalog word that I can. So here we go. The first word is Jueves.
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 There you go. That's how we spell it. And of course,
Jueves.
in Spanish, you have that.
Jueves.
Filipinos are not aware of this, that Jueves is actually Spanish. Same thing with all of the other things that I'm gonna put. Next one is 29.
29.
That's how we spell it in Tagalog. 29. All right, listen. Nunal.
Lunar.
Wow, somebody said it. Somebody actually guessed it. Nunal. Lunar.
Lunar.
So it's Mo.
No.
That's how we spell it. So it's gonna get a little bit more difficult as we go along, but you will see that the way that we kept the Spanish loanword, it's like we listened to it with our, let's say, ancestors, and we just repeated it, but in a wrong grammar or a wrong spelling, and that's how it retained in Tagalog. Okay, next, salvaje.
Salvaje.
Okay. It's a different meaning for us. Salvaje in Espanol is como wild, right? Salvaje is como alguien maldito. When a kid misbehaves, we tell them that you're salvaje. In a lower degree than maldito, right? Like a playful way of saying maldito.
En Brasil es Mao.
Mao.
En portugués en Brasil.
All right, next, I'm gonna move on. Cepillo.
Sepelio.
Okay, that's how we say it. Very similar, right?
No.
No, not at all. You know.
Para nada.
Sí, para nada. Next, pecha. Pecha.
Fecha.
Fecha o fecha.
Fecha.
Pecha.
Fecha.
Fecha.
It's a date. It's the same meaning in Tagalog. Pecha. Next, cuchillo.
Cuchillo.
Okay, that's how we spell it. Cuchillo, but cuchillo, same meaning. All of this have the same meanings in Tagalog and Spanish unless I tell you, like the salvaje, right? Escuche, next, alquila.
Alquiler.
Alquilar.
Alquila.
Alquiler.
There we go.
Alquilar.
That's right.
Alquilar.
We kind of retained it a little bit, but shortened it. Alquila instead of alquilar or alquiler. Next, cambio. There we go.
Cambio.
But for us, it's a different meaning. Cambio is not the change. It's not sencillo or cambio when you buy, right? Cambio for us is como cambio de palanca. I don't know how you guys call it in your countries, but how do you call the shift?
Cambio de carro.
Cambio de carro.
En portugués cambio también es de carro solamente.
Okay, cambio de carro también, solamente con carro. Wow, okay. Escuchen, next, garrapata.
Garrapata.
It's a very same, but missing the R. And again, these words, Filipinos are unaware are in Spanish. Like me, I didn't know this was Spanish. I got surprised when I was learning Spanish, huh? I didn't know. Okay, escuchen. Next, bobo.
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 Tonto. Okay, it's the same meaning. Like tonto, stupid, right? Same spelling even.
En portugués es lo mismo. Bobo es lo mismo.
Okay, next, ayuda.
Ayudo, Popeye. Ayudo. Ayudo.
Next is almusal.
Almorzar.
Lunch.
This is another funny thing. Almusal for us is not lunch. It's breakfast. I don't know how that got corrupted through history, but it's not lunch. Next, okay, es lo mismo. It's the very same. We have that in Tagalog. Yeah, se escribe bien. Next, we have casal.
Casar.
Casar.
It's to get married. Yeah, that's a bit confusing, but yeah, it's to get married. Casal is casar. Next, we have teniente.
Pimienta.
For us, that's how you spell it.
Ah,
Right, the ranking nga, teniente.
This is complicated.
Ingente.
Okay, next, aguinaldo.
Lo esperamos todo.
For you guys, aguinaldo is como el 13-month pay, no? Algo así.
Yeah.
Yep.
Música de diciembre. Aguinaldos.
Here in Mexico, candies. Candies, okay. I didn't know that. All right, pisada.
Pisada.
Pitaya, no?
Ah, pizarra.
Next,
Blackboard.
exactly. We have chismis.
Chismes.
Chismis.
Chismes.
Until now, we kept chismis, but spelled differently, right? And pronounced a little bit differently. Chismis instead of chisme. Okay, next. Kuchon.
Colchón, ¿no?
There we go.
El buzón.
Oh, colchon. Colchon.
Colchón.
Yeah, I missed the L. Sorry, so colchon, not cochon. So instead of colchon, it's kuchon for Filipinos. Next word I want to pronounce, carne.
Carnet.
Carne.
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 Yeah, carne.
Carne.
Carne. Instead of carne, it's carne. Okay, next, cuento.
Cuento.
Cuento for us, it's like story. And then we go to limos for limosna.
Ah,
So limos for us is limosna. Next, I have libro.
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 Same spelling, libro for us. Next, we have gatillo.
Gatillo.
Una pistola.
The trigger in the pistola, in the pistol. That's how we spell it. This is something I have to tell you guys. We don't pronounce double L as either yo or sho. Like I know in Argentina, it's a different pronunciation, like gatillo, right, or pocho. I don't really know. I'm not familiar.
That is only in Buenos Aires.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was whole Argentina.
Only in Buenos Aires.
En el resto de Argentina se dice gatillo, pero en Buenos Aires decimos gatillo.
En serio? Wow, okay, good to know. For example, the last name, Castillo, we pronounce it as Castillo, not Castillo. We have canta.
Cantar.
There we go. En vez de cantar, es canta. Next, we have subibo.
Subvivo. Survivor.
Subvivo.
Survivor. No.
Tío vivo.
Vivo.
Ah,
¿Qué es
Tío
eso?
vivo es el como carrusel, ¿no?
What is this?
carrusel.
Yeah, I know that not all Latinos know Tío Vivo, but some do. Como español de España, ¿no? Algo así.
Carrusel or
Carrusel. Calecita.
Ajá. Tío Vivo is Chubibo for us. Okay, next. Last one, I promise. Puto.
What?
Puto.
Punto. Yo
El amigo-
Punto final.
So there,
¿Es the same?
puto, it's not the same. It's different. I'm gonna have to Google what is puto for us. Puto is different for us. Let me share my screen again. Puto is actually food. So if a Filipino says, I like puto, I love puto, don't laugh in their face. But people have laughed in my face, right? When I say I love puto, when I didn't know puto yet, that is a puto. You guys see my screen? There, it's actually food. Made from
Eso lo mandaste a poner para la
arroz.
presentación.
Made from rice. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Qué bárbaro.
So although we kept the puto, but it's a totally different meaning now, right? The one for women, we still kept that, the one with A at the last, but the one for the guys, for some reason we didn't keep the puto, the one for the guys, only for the women. Became a food for us. It's absolutely weird. There's a lot of words that are very similar between Tagalog and Spanish, so that's why it was very easy for me. Finalmente, si quieren abrazos, si quieren saber más de Filipinas, solo buscarme por tal vez Instagram o YouTube o Facebook. Estoy como haciendo cuentos en videos sobre Filipinas en español porque sé que no hay tanta videos en español sobre Filipinas. Solo busca por Eric Martínez PH. Estoy en Facebook, en YouTube y Instagram. Gracias. Nos vemos.
Gracias.
Saludos.
Hasta luego.
Adiós.
Chao.
Buenas noches. Bye.
Chao.
Gracias.